Each one of these side hustles made me over $500 just using my phone and my laptop. But recently, a lot of people have been jumping in and saturating the market. That's why I'm going to be showing you how to stand out and actually make 3 to 4 times more than I made. So the easiest way to start is with outreach. Outreach means actively initiating contact with people and businesses. And this can be inbound and outbound. Inbound mainly means people are interested in your service and they contact you, while outbound is basically you reaching out to people. Because cold outreach has such a low barrier of entry, most people just go in blindfolded and start sending messages to people and businesses randomly, hoping to close a deal or hoping to find $1 million client like out of nowhere. And inevitably, they just end up wasting time and effort and never end up closing a deal. That's why we have to stand out and be smarter than them. Basically taking some of the aspects of the outbound reach and combining it with the inbound reach and making some sort of a hybrid approach that will be able to generate you leads which you can come back to or search for new clients when the time comes. So let's see how this will be in action. So noting that we have $150, this is how we're going to set up our hybrid outreach. Check your profile for grammars and errors. This can be your profile, this can be your website, but doing this will improve your acceptance rates by a ton. Delete any inappropriate pictures or stuff that doesn't need to be there, just remove it all and you'll thank me later. Check if every link and every mention that you have in your bio and your profile and your website itself is working perfectly and they don't end up in dead spaces. Make sure your profile pic isn't a turn off. If you have to take another picture, just make sure to use the rule of thirds. Put in the grid and have your eyes on the upper line, the upper horizontal line, and it will work. You have that as your profile picture and you're doing good. So that being said, these are going to be some of the expenses you're going to face. A subscription to a place where you can find templates and you can find content you can work with. I usually go with Envato Elements. That will cost you a whopping $16.5 per month. You will have to have editing software. So I use Photoshop, I use Illustrator, but Canva is also a good option if you want to, and it will cost you a whopping $15 a month. This step is the most important one because it will provide you clarity and visibility and credibility as well. Those are many good aspects to have. And that's getting verified on Instagram. That will cost you around $9 to $16. And this one is optional, but you can have a website. A website will potentially improve your odds of actually getting a job and people seeing you as a real deal than going it with like just a WhatsApp or just having like an Instagram profile. And this overall website purchase, like domain and web hosting, will cost you around like $25. If you acquire it or if you don't, we will take the rest of the money that's there and just put it into ads. But we'll talk about that later on. So now we have a clear head start on the people that don't know how to outreach and that are just spamming messages to people out there. So first things first, you have to pick a skill or service you can provide and that you can sell ideally for upwards of $50, $100, $150. Implementing this rule I use, and it's basically what I used to charge in every one of these side hustles that I'm going to be talking here and later on in the video. What I do is I divide the pricing into 3 sections or three separate categories because it's scientifically proven that people have more tendencies to choose when they have 3 options. A VSL will be you explaining what you do and actually what benefits you give. And if you have like testimonials and all those things, it will be a cool thing. So just include that in there. Now I'm going to hop into my PC and I'm going to show you how to find customers to actually outreach to. I go on to Google and I search this thing specifically. If you want this, just let me know. I'll just implement it on the pinned comment or something like that. Just let me know. Just remember, after I search it, you'll notice that there's only people that are in the fitness niche here, people that you can actually start to DM and have an idea of who you can potentially find in this niche and specifically on Instagram. This works if you want to go on Twitter, if you want to go on Facebook, anything works. If you tweak this link right here that says Instagram and say like Facebook, only Facebook people will appear, like this is basically how I start cold outreaching when I have to find prospects. This is Beth Jones, and she's also in Leeds, UK. So it is very specific to that area. But what I actually do is, when I'm in that mood and I have time to actually make a prospect list, I end up doing like 20, 30 people that I will eventually DM, and it's easier for me when I'm actually texting them or when I'm actually outreaching to them. I look for specific things to know if I have to DM or if I can DM this person, and if they make my ideal customer list. This can vary to you, but for me, it basically sums up to being above 3,000 followers and below 100,000 followers. Why? Because if they have less than 3,000 followers, odds are they aren't taking their business like that vividly. Most people can be making money without followers, but if you're looking to be like safe on it and just be sending messages that do convert and it's actually proven that they are making money, I found out that like above 5K is about a right place to start looking for this sorts of dedication and credibility. When they get to above 100K, like 120, 130, 200 and all that, they usually are already taken care of and they have already good content there. So yeah, try going below there. That's my opinion. You can vary where you want. So after having your list, you eventually have to contact the prospect. And I know you guys might be scared, like, this guy is going to do this, but most people don't care. They will care if you make them care, and that's by providing them value. So I'm going to show you a trick I do that makes them see that you have value for them after actually going through a little bit of a process to get out of the message requests. This page, I'm going to go rather quickly. I'm not saying that something is particularly wrong with this one, but this is definitely a page I would reach out to, because look at the followers. She has 11,000 followers, and she actually takes care of the image of the page. She posts content, and it's something that maybe I would target, like try to make her a website. She might have a website or a link tree or something like that. If I decided that I'm going to contact her, what I do is I go to the messages, and this is basically what I send her. I'm going to send her a message in real time, so this is basically what I'm going to tell her. Hello, Kate, hope you're doing well. I'm not doing so bad myself. I was here just checking your page, and I noticed that I couldn't actually log into your website. I don't know if it's something on my end. Don't know if it's my network or something like that. So I was wondering if your website is actually working. If it is though, just let me know, or you could send me the working link here, please. I would be happy to have a look at it. Thanks in advance. I know, it might sound deceiving, but it works. What do I achieve with this? First, it's not text, so she can't see or preview the message only, and like just see the notification and then be like, okay, yeah, well, she technically has to listen to a bit of my audio to know if she's going to be interested or if she's not going to be interested, So this is a psychological trick where you already have one foot on the door, without them expecting. So this will depend very, very much on how you proceed with this, because you can have a lot of approaches. This one is one of them, where you make them a question or you see something like that and you ask for their prompt. Experiment with what you see fit. This is how I basically do it. So after that message is sent, odds are they don't see the message or they don't listen to the audio. When that happens, it's okay, it's cool. It happens to the best of them. It happens to me, it happens to everybody else. But odds are the person actually plays the audio and listens to it, and she's like, okay, I'll send you over the link, no worries, thanks. The thing is, now you can go to step 2, and in step 2 your objective is deciding 2 things. If you want to kick it and proceed the casual and chatty conversational wise way, or proceeding directly to explaining that you have a Loom video ready and that you want to actually pitch a service. These 2 options might give you different responses and might give you different rates. I'm just telling you, like, try both of them. One of them will work with you better. And after that, you will basically have the formula to contacting people and actually having response rates up the roof. Keep that in mind when outreaching next time. So that's the outbound aspect of this outreaching method. Now let's focus on the inbound lead side. So to attract clients inbound, first you can start posting by your VSL on your profile page or your social media or stuff like that, just having your face talking about what you do. If you do YouTube, if you do TikTok, that's better. Just lead them there, and if it's in the same topic, they will start believing you more, And to do this, you don't even need to think that much. Just see popular people's content and try to recreate it your own way, like still like an artist. You just copy it. Don't copy it 100%. Just put on your creative spin, or just be you, and that will do you real good in the future. The other thing you have to do is basically just using ads. So now I'm going to show you how to basically program ads, and you can use what I'm going to teach you now on the other side hustles that I'm going to talk about ahead. So basically, when you come into Meta Business Suite, you'll be faced with this option right here. This is going to be your ad creation process. And here, as you can see, you have different options right here. You can boost Facebook content, you can get more leads. This will depend on what your end goal is. But how I usually do it, because I feel like I can convert better when they text me or when I talk to them. I can upsell them sometimes. I usually go with either WhatsApp or get more messages, I'm going to go with messages. So this is going to be the main surface where you're going to be promoting your content and where you're going to be posting your actual ad. This is going to be where you put your description. This is going to be where you put your content. This is the preview, by the way, and I'm not going to go in depth just because you can get this from me through my Discord or like something like that. Just let me know. My Instagram's in the description. Just let me know, and I could guide you through this better. Here's the actual title. But what I actually want to show you as well is, if you notice right here, is that we have like a budget of $5 per day. So this is going to be per day, and this is the amount of people I'm going to be reaching, about like 7.4 to 21,000 people for $5 a day. So you just have to sit back and your money is going to be working for you. And this basically is going to be on this too, Messenger and Instagram. But if you wanted this, there might increase the replies, and this is basically it. Here you can actually target. Here I'm targeting Mozambique. That's my country. That's why the replies or the estimated reach is higher. And this is basically where you can control that. I'm targeting Mozambique, the whole country as of now. And yeah, basically you can increase. If I were to spend like $16 just targeting here, I will have 20 to 58,000 people looking, and just put it on a daily budget that you're comfortable spending. If you have like $50, you don't put a $50 budget and just have it running one day. Look to cut it down, like put like $5 or like $4 and have it running for 1 month. Joining those two techniques, you will basically have the hybrid outreaching method. And I haven't heard anyone talk about this yet. So take this information and use it usefully, just make money with it. This one is the most immersive and the easiest one to actually start a business. This is basically drop servicing. Drop servicing basically is you providing a service. You charge the client the actual amount and you outsource the actual service for lower price. And that being said, most people who do this outsource bad services and don't actually make money in this process. I mean, who would want their services, right? But when done right, you can actually scale the business and continue investing in essentials to keep the services going and drop all of the outsources and keep all the profit to yourself. So this is going to be the setup for drop service. Choose a terminal where you're going to get your clients. For every side hustle, you have to have that in mind. You have to have one place where they can actually contact you in every one of these side hustles. Consider your budget while jumping onto this. Now we're starting with $150, but most people might have $500, $400, $300. You do you. Make sure you actually choose one that actually has the potential for you to upscale and actually charge more for your services. Don't lowball or don't look for low paying services. Try as higher paying services as possible. And last but not least, marketing. These are going to be some of the basic expenses. You can have a website and hosting for around $25. But as I said, this is completely optional. You must test the product. So in this case, we're going to go with house cleaning. If I'm going with house cleaning, that means I'm going to test their services of the companies I'm going to be contacting. This can cost me around $10 to $30. Fees of service. You must have at least 1 to 3 times the amount that costs you for the service on your funds at all times, since that is the money that you're going to use to actually make them get to the place and actually get that bag. This can cost me anywhere from $5 to $50. Fee of transportation. Most times there's actually people and it's actually physical. And if that's the case, this can cost you anywhere around like $15. But taking the fee of service and the fee of transportation ends up creating one whole new department that's called safe margin, and that will be basically the sum of 1 and 2. So now all of that's out of the way, let's start with the process. Now I know that I'm going to be targeting house cleaning. So now that I have my niche set and done, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go on Google and I'm going to find as many potential businesses in an area, or in separate areas if you want to target the whole country, and end up with a list of about 10 to 20 potential businesses to work with. So here I am on Google Maps, and I'm going to show you how I basically will find those 10 to 20 businesses to contact. So here on the search bar, I'll just search for the place I want to contact or I want to target, and I actually search for the niche. So this brings me a ton of cleaners in Toronto. You don't need to target Toronto, but this is for the sake of the example. And here I'm having the actual phone numbers. I'm actually having the access to their websites. I'm actually having access to a ton of their information that I could base my prices out of and basically start selling the services as soon as possible. So after finding the list of 10 to 20 potential businesses, you have to actually go through and contact each one of them. And whenever possible and whenever there's a service you can actually be testing, just test them. It might be like $10, $20, $30 this, $20 that. And you must notice if they do specific things, like if they have uniforms, if they have very branded equipment, that has a logo that differs from yours. You might want to steer away from those ones, since it will blow your cover away, and you will actually start losing customers, and they will just talk to that company because they're providing the service. So try to find the businesses that do a good job but don't have their branding down to a T. They don't use branded cars and they don't use branded uniforms. After you make your price according to the average rates of the 10 to 20, 30 businesses you contacted, this will be your decision, but you could have a website for yourself. I don't usually use a website. I usually use my Instagram or I use my Facebook. If I'm creating a new business, I will have a specific page for that. But this is basically down to each one of us this decision. So now that you have your house cleaner business working, you have your page set up, you have your marketing done, what your job is currently is you have to be accumulating customers. You have to have customers that are recurring and that their word of mouth brings you more customers ahead, More people will trust them if they are the ones saying that, I know a guy who can actually have your place clean, man, squeaky clean, contact this number. And if it's their friend saying that, it's more probable they will contact you. And if you charge $1,000, they won't even care because their friend had good things to say about it. So that's basically it, and not depending solely on one business. If you can have 10 to 15 of this untrademarked, unbranded businesses on your contact list and ready to be wherever you desire, you will be making that money. And what has to be your focus is the small profits and the small gains that you get from there. Don't splurge. Try dedicating into investing into your own material. That way you can still have the customers, but you won't be having to spend money paying another person. You can just do the services yourself and rake in that whole cash that they have ready for you, That wasn't the best way to say that. This one is overall the easiest to scale and is guaranteed to give you a monthly income. Selling chatbots has been taking over the market in the recent days. I was trying to buy something through a WhatsApp contact some days ago, and it really took me some time to actually notice that it was a bot, since it was very well tailored and it was actually talking to me as if I was a person. And that's something that most people will need and do need nowadays, Now it's possible for you to program a bot using software that integrates it with ChatGPT. So when it comes to the other side, the other person sees it and the bot is actually as versatile as a human. It talks to you in a human form, and it can double down and send you images and also send you voice notes. So it was tricky to figure it out, but I did figure it out. And to have it working, it's so easy. Look at this. So let's start with the setup to selling chatbots. So pick a niche you want to actually start selling chatbots in. What I like to do is selling assistant chatbots, where they guide you to a purchase when they contact you on a social media or a website. Next, if you don't have context in a specific niche, don't worry. Just ask ChatGPT, make a bunch of questions, and make a dummy bot according to that. That way you can present the actual bot to the potential customers, and they will be more happy when they see it in action and they know that you did it, and you can do it for them as well. So that being said, these are going to be the expenses. A subscription to a website that permits you to actually manage AIs and integrate them to ChatGPT. I'm going to be using ChatFuel, and that will cost you about $39. And the rest with marketing. You know the thing. So this is going to be the process. So here we are at ChatFuel's homepage. And as you see, we have a free trial. This is going to be a 7-day free trial. It's good for you to get your feet wet and know how to program it and make the dummy. You most of the times will want to create a free trial when you want to show it to someone. That way you won't be spending like $39 for nothing. When you have like 2-3 people interested in seeing, that's when you create a trial and just send the same bot to all of them, since they're in the same niche. But basically, we will start the free trial, So this is a dummy page I have. And here I'm basically just going to show you what it looks like, so you're not afraid when you actually hop into this. This is going to be your basic dashboard and your basic launchpad, Here you can see, you can add a number for your WhatsApp, and this will synchronize directly. That means it will start sending you messages through your WhatsApp. So to send the dummy or to send the bot to a person, you just have a contact saved and you can send it to them. But it's not only that, because this means you can also do it on Instagram, you can do it on Facebook, you can do it on websites. And just in case you want to see me in action, just building a bot, just so you can actually sell it to your customers efficiently and don't worry about errors, and being sure that you're going to provide something that profits and benefits them, just let me know and I'll be sure to make a bot in front of you guys and integrating it with ChatGPT for maximum effectiveness. So that being said, after you go on ChatFuel, after you have your dummy bot ready, then you know the deal. Just market it as much as possible. This is going to be the easiest way you can have it, and you can even be running this business while running another one. It won't take that much of your time, because most of the times this can actually come as a recurring revenue, a monthly revenue, or a weekly revenue. It depends on you. But this will be a catalyst for people contacting you just to maintain this, or just to add some questions and stuff like that. And you can have like easy $75, $100, $150 coming in monthly through one customer. And imagine if you have 10 of those, that's an easy $1,500 right there. So if you want to see me starting one of these side hustles and making money, comment the side hustle number and I'll make a video on it.